We conducted a survey about waste management and disposal. Let's see the results. We can clearly see that majority of the people are concerned about the present situation of waste management. Also, the governments are concerned about the present situation of waste management. This is a part of manifesto of the ruling party in recent Bihar elections. Also, Delhi government launched an initiative to tackle agricultural waste. We can see that most of the people and governments are concerned about the present situation of waste management, so we can clearly say that it is a social problem. Let's see some of the objective conditions we found out from our survey. We compared the objective conditions of rural and urban areas. The first is where people dispose their generated waste. In rural areas, it's mostly in open spaces, while in urban areas, it's mostly through garbage collection services. Next is the frequency of garbage collection services. In rural areas, mostly no such service is available, while in urban areas, it's available on a daily basis. Next is the availability of large garbage collection bins. We can see that in most urban and rural areas, no such facility is available. Let's look at some of the subjective concerns. First is, what concerns do people have about waste management? It includes like effect on the environment, effect on human health, littering and aesthetics. Next is, who people think should be responsible for waste management, producer of waste or city administration.
Waste management has numerous economic implications that people are usually aware of. Can you tell us about some social implications of waste management?
Basically, we all know that waste management have economical and environmental implications, but yes, it does have social implications too, which many of us forgot to take into account while making a process for waste management. As we know, like our society is differentiated on many strata based on income level, education level, and many things. Waste management worstly hits the poor. Why? See, there are always landfill sites. Many of the landfill sites are created by displacing the communities living there and use it as a dumpster. So this waste management in the landfill sites, the sanitation and hygiene of those communities come into effect, and it's like very negatively affected.
What are the measures present in your company for reducing the production of waste?
So in my company, like we take waste management very seriously in our the campus. So basically, first of the most thing which is done is plastic bottles are not allowed. There are steel glass bottles put at every desk at every corner, which is getting refilled as it gets empty. Second, there are garbage plates everywhere, distinguishing between wet garbage and dry garbage. Thirdly, the industrial waste are not being thrown away. They are being either be refurbished and resold and given to employees.
Even though waste disposal is an indispensable part of the society, many people look down upon those who are working in this. What can be the reasons for this?
Waste disposals, like many people don't go for it basically because from the starting only, from our childhood, our society, you can say, they have put a stigma into a man's head that working with waste is not educated people do. So this is the social stigma that is present, which make a person they get adversely affected. Like I'm not the person who will be supposed to responsible for waste, like disposing the waste, even if I am creating it too. So that is the main problem here, the social stigma. It should not be that those who are illiterate or those who do have not any proper education level, they should only do the waste management or take part in the waste management, whether it is the collection of waste or something. So it needs to grow. This waste management needs to grow more as a professional industry. Thank you.
How does the youth's view on environment conservation and waste management differ from that of the older generation?
The youth's view of the environment conservation and the waste management system is very different from that of the older generations because we know how all these things are affecting our environment. Our older generations are not aware of that. Back then, they never faced the issue of global warming, or they never knew how these plastic management can affect our environment as a whole. So this lack of awareness on the part of the older generations is a reason why the youth is more aware of it. We know how it is affecting the environment and how it can affect it in the coming years. So this whole concept of the sustainable development is very new to the older generations, and I don't think it's possible for us to expect it from them. But all we can do is make them understand how it's affecting us in various ways and what can be done.
It is noticed that a lot of people quit the waste management sector. What do you think is the reason for this, and how can it be prevented?
A lot of people are being seen leaving the waste management sector because one thing is the lower wage, and the second is dignity of labor. They are being paid very less for the work they do, and they are being treated in a way which is not acceptable by a major section of the society. So I believe it can be prevented in the way that people should be made more aware of their work and the work culture, and the ones who work in this particular sector should be treated equally, should be given that much of dignity, and they should be given sufficient income. The income should be increased, and this might be one way how we can prevent them from leaving the waste management sector.
Objective condition related to the problem of waste management would be something that could be measured, like air quality index, water quality index, zero waste index, or simply the quantity or volume of waste being generated annually by a country or a city.
Subjective concern is a concern of a large number of people over the objective condition. Example, international organizations like the United Nations, activists like Greta Thunberg, and actors like Leonardo DiCaprio have all raised their voices towards the problem of environment preservation and waste management.
According to functionalist perspective, problems of improper waste management are due to dysfunctions of the society itself. The industrialization and widespread development in technology have improved the quality of our lives. This is the manifest function. But along with this, there has also been a lot of negative consequences like improper waste disposal, pollution, and destruction of nature. These are the latent dysfunctions. Other dysfunctions like population growth due to better healthcare has also led to more waste being generated, which is difficult to manage.
According to the feminist perspective, a masculine worldview is responsible for the domination of nature, the domination of women, and the domination of other minorities. Ecofeminists stress that patriarchy is oppressive not only for women but also for the environment. So, according to feminist theory, waste management is a problem due to the patriarchy present in the society.
According to conflict perspective, social problems are created by humans competing for power and limited resources. For waste management, there is a conflict between two groups: the owners of big industries and companies who aim to maximize their profits and would not like to spend any money on waste management. The other group is the general public and environmental activists who realize that improper waste disposal is leading to environmental degradation, which would create problems for the future generations. And the struggle between these two groups makes this a social problem.
Theorists working within the interactionist perspective address how environmental problems are created and defined. According to me, people who work in waste management or disposal are labeled as doing menial jobs and are not given any respect or appreciation for their job. There may be historical reasons for this labeling in India that can be explained using the caste system. Like, people doing these jobs were considered untouchables, and this view causes discrimination even today.
We saw in the surveys that many people are not really aware about the social impacts of waste management. We saw some interesting observations in research papers too. We observed that although all of Durkheim, Marx and Weber, the three pioneers in sociology, saw the degrading consequences of industrial work and waste upon human beings, there was almost negligible work done in the social aspects of waste management. Even in the sociology of environment, we see that there is very little theoretical analysis done. Many recent works in this substantive area even fail to address waste management at all. One sociological theory which we found to explain waste management was using social networks in Europe, which sees waste generation and management as an outcome of a set of actors which are individuals and organizations and the social interaction between the actors. The main network actor was identified as the European Union, and for social interaction, various policies and laws of the European Union were identified. Sadly, we saw negligible work on the sociology of waste management in India.
Rate of municipal solid waste for different Indian cities. The quantity of MSW generated depends on a number of factors such as food habits, standard of living, degree of commercial activities, and seasons. With increasing urbanization and changing lifestyle, Indian cities now generate 8 times more MSW than they did in 1947. Usually, metropolitan cities have a higher generation rate, but here one can see that per capita generation rate is high in some cities like Lucknow, Kanpur, and Ahmedabad as compared to metropolitans. This may be due to the high living standards, the rapid economic growth, and the high level of urbanization in these cities. It has been observed that many municipalities have employed private contractors for secondary transportation from the collection point to the disposal site. The collection efficiency is higher in cities and states where private contractors and NGOs are employed for the collection and transportation of MSW, which is clear from the displayed figure. In this survey we conducted, we asked whether one is willing to pay 10% more than the average market price for a product for a company which manages its waste properly and doesn't affect the environment. And the result is displayed, which shows that majority are willing to pay more for safe environment. Indian waste management rules are founded on the principles of sustainable development, precaution, that is, measures should be taken to avoid environmental degradation and hazards, and polluter pays, that is, polluter must bear the cost of damages and harm caused to environment by his own act. Ministry of Environment and Forest has notified plastic, e-waste, biomedical hazards, and construction and demolition waste management rules as empowered it by Section 6. The rules are displayed. The Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change recently notified the new Solid Waste Management Rules SWM 2016, replacing the Municipal Solid Waste Management and Handling Rules 2000. The new set of rules are now applicable beyond municipal areas and have included urban agglomerations, census town, notified industrial townships, area under the control of Indian Railways, airports, special economic zones, places of pilgrimage, religious and historical importance, and state and central government organizations in their ambit. The rule stipulates zero tolerance for throwing, burning, or burying the solid waste generated on streets, open public spaces outside the generator's premises, or in the drain or water bodies. Major highlights of the new solid waste management rules are segregation at source into three streams: biodegradables, dry, and domestic hazardous waste, collection and disposal of sanitary waste, user fees for collection and a spot fine for littering and non-segregation, waste processing and treatment. Other highlights of Solid Waste Management Rules 2016 are promoting use of compost, promotion of waste to energy, revision of parameters and existing standards, management of waste in hilly areas, constitution of a central monitoring committee. From the survey we conducted about awareness for local and national waste management rules, we have the displayed results for urban areas, and these are for rural areas. One can clearly see the lack of awareness about existing laws among the citizens. To resolve this problem, waste management has to be made a people's movement by taking the issues, concerns, and management of solid waste to citizens and grassroots.